Alright guys, it is January 25th today. I am out for my first walk of the year. Main objective today is to pull some cameras down off public land, but definitely going to be doing a little looking for sheds too. Majority of bucks are still going to hold them for another month, but there's always a few that'll drop early, so got to keep your eyes open. Probably spend, I don't know, half the day out checking a few spots, like I said, pulling cameras from hunting season, and see what we come up with today. Pretty much going to focus on food, just spots that I know that there were standing crop left for the deer, soybeans, corn, stuff like that. So we'll poke around. We haven't had any fresh snow. We got about, I would say, around 10 inches of snow there right around the 8th of January, and it hasn't really snowed much since. Most of the snow we do have is settled. There's still obviously snow in a lot of places, and a decent amount of it, so it definitely makes it tough. But one nice thing is it is really easy to read the sign and tell where the deer are hanging out. So we'll do a little hiking today and see if we can't come up with the first antler of the year. Let's go. No luck in there. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in there. There's just a little pocket of beans that they left standing, and the deer had been hammering them, but I think they probably had them all eaten up here a couple weeks ago, so there's not as much fresh sign as I was hoping. Still enough sign. Decent amount of beds up on the cedar hillside above it, and some pretty good trails. Jumped a flock of turkeys, which is always good to see, but no antlers. Could have easily missed something though. The snow's deeper than it looks. Pretty much got to be a fresh one laying on top or something decent sized to be sticking up through it. But I'm gonna hike out of here and go to a different spot and try her all over again. Second stop of the day. Just got back in here, standing soybean field again. Actually followed a sled track all the way from the parking lot back into these beans, and someone shot one in this field. You can see where they gutted it right in the field. But there's just some CRP stuff around these beans. A lot of snow in these beans, so I don't know how much time I'll spend looking in them. Although there's a good chance there's antlers in them. It's just tough with this much snow, so I'll kind of just work around the grassy areas where the snow's a little less, and where I figure these deer are laying down throughout the night. But we'll see what happens. Right over my shoulder here's where that deer was gutted. Somewhere over there. I don't know. Either way, we'll see what happens here. Third stop of the day. Another bean field. Got a couple cameras in here, so I'm more or less here to go grab those. But keep my eyes peeled for sheds. I can see my first camera, so that ain't stolen, so that's a good thing. Had it right on a post here, right in these beans. I didn't have a whole lot to speak of on this camera. A decent amount of deer, just nothing real big, but I'm sure these cameras ain't telling the whole story either, because this is a pretty good sized field. But I'm gonna grab these cameras, check a couple spots out while I'm in here, keep moving. So I got both of my cameras picked up. The standing beans are up on top of that hill there. Then we got some CRP down here. I'm gonna loop down this little tree row and then kind of work the edge of this timber back up towards the food. There's a couple little good bedding ridges in that timber I'm gonna check out. Still no antlers, but lots of snow. Well, we just broke the ice. We were probably 3.5 or 4 miles on so far today. And just spotted one about 10 yards up in front of me. I was actually coming up out of these woods here. I was checking some of these bedding ridges and I was working this edge, and there's that Osage tree here. There's an antler laying right underneath it. Let's go see what we got. Snap a picture quick. First one of the year. Little 4-point. Looks pretty fresh. No blood, but the wax ring is real fresh. Like I said, I'm probably 3.5 or 4 miles in. Finally on the board. First walk of the year. Expectations are never real high this time of year, but you never know. Hopefully we can find another one or two. If not, anytime when you go for a walk in January and find one at all is a good day. So we're gonna keep working here. I got a couple more bedding ridges to check, and then on to the next spot. Just got into the 4th spot of the day. Just kind of working back this tree line. There's standing beans out here, and kind of wanted to get all the way to the end of it. There's a couple cedar hillsides that I like to check. And just coming down this fence line, I just spotted one up here, 10-15 yards in front of me, tines down. Looks like it's a little better than the first one, but it's hard to tell because it's tines down. But let's go take a look at it. Yeah, about the same size. Another 2-year-old 4-point. Kind of broke it off a little early, it looks like. Pretty fresh though. It's a good start coming into a new spot. Second antler of the day, second antler of the year. It's probably gonna take me an hour, maybe 2, to get around this piece how I want to, and then I've got one other spot where I got to get yet to pull some cameras off public. But good start. I'm not even 200-300 yards from the truck, so antler number 2. See what else we can find. I'm just getting to the last spot. I'm probably gonna end up walking today. Got a drainage that runs up here. There's standing beans up here, and I'm pretty sure there's standing beans up here. So I'm kind of gonna just work this drainage that's in between them, and then work around the fields. Probably call it a day. I was thinking about a couple other spots, but to be honest, I'm pretty tired walking through this snow with rubber boots. Drains you pretty quick, so we'll see what happens here. Probably got an hour, maybe 2 in here. Hopefully we can find something, we'll see. Well, I didn't make it very far up this drainage and I spotted one. Best antler of the day so far. Looks pretty heavy. Let's grab it. Oh, no way. I know what deer this is too. Unreal. So I got permission. I'm on public right now, but I got permission on some private close by here. And my buddy picked a match set off of this buck last year. And I got this deer on trail camera, decent amount this year. But freaking sweet. This deer's at least 6. We figured him at 5 last year. Big heavy antler. Hopefully I can match him up. Like I said, I just started in here. If I can't match him today, I'll definitely be dropping a pin on this spot and coming back when the snow's down, but super fresh. Hell yeah, I'm jacked on this one. I just got done grabbing my last camera off this spot, and I just decided to do a skirt around the outside. There's beans here too, and looking some of this grassy stuff where the snow's a little lower. Just walked up on a match set young buck, but just laying a couple feet apart. That'll be number 4 and 5 on the day. Way better than I was expecting to do, so pretty happy with it. We'll grab these, and got a little walking left to do before I get back to the vehicle. Pretty fresh. Alright guys, I just got back to the truck. Here's the haul for the day. Ended with 5. This was the first one I found, second one, third one was a big one. And then I finished the day here with this match set. But it's starting to rain on me here, so I think I'm gonna pull the plug. It's pretty nasty out. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Sounds like Mike's gonna get out here tomorrow or the next day, so we'll jump you guys over to hit that action. But thanks again for watching the channel, guys.
Down. Got it down. That one's done. I'm happy with them. Really excited to put a wrap on a quick North Dakota season for myself.
Holy smokes. That is a heck of a deer. them.
It is January 26th today. I've been kind of cooped up the last couple weeks, pretty much since season closed here in Iowa. Been just getting hammered with snow. Haven't really been able to get out and do a whole lot of postseason scouting or any sort of work on some of the permission farms, but plan is to, in the next coming weeks, try and get a bunch of that work done once we lose a little bit more of the snow, hopefully. Temps are supposed to kind of stay in the 30s, 40s, even get up into the 50s here in the next week. So just out here today, pulling some cameras on some spots that I had out on public for late season, and just hadn't been able to get out to these spots once we got hammered with all the snow. So we're running out here today, and since we're out here, we're gonna try and walk some of these fields, see if we can run into any early sheds. I know in this particular spot, I had been getting pictures of a couple bucks that already lost one side. So there's some beans back in here. We're hoping we can maybe scoop up their antlers here today. So it's beautiful out today though. Temps are mid-30s. It rained all day yesterday, so we lost probably 4 or 5 inches of snow. But we got a little bit of a walk to get in here, not too bad. But having the snowshoes on, it's definitely gonna make the trekking here a little bit easier. It's tough to see right now, but this knob is like bare grass, and it just looks like a very, what I would call, sheddy looking spot. This is where I would anticipate finding something, is up along here. A lot of digging. We got our first shed of the year. Just walking the edge of this bean field. This little guy here. Looks like it's actually been laying there for a little bit, but there's honestly, a lot of these beans are matted down. I'll probably comb through it, but I think it's gonna be tougher trying to find stuff out in these bean fields. Most of the deer sign, good deer sign I'm seeing, is actually along this edge. This is all oaks. This is kind of a high point. And I'd imagine these deer coming out into the beans, feeding, coming up here, laying, chewing their cud. Then they're also digging up along this edge for any sort of oaks that are laying in the woods. But
our trail camera from here is only, I think, another 10-15 yards, so pretty cool.
First one.
There's my camera. Right there is where I found that shed. About 7 yards from each other.
The 2023 internship wraps up. Ross and I have come a long way in our photography, videography, editing, hunting, and overall knowledge of the hunting industry.
Applications are open. If you're interested in an internship with a Breaking Point, you can send your cover letter and resume to the link in the description.
If interested in the 2024 internship, the deadline is March 13th. Send your cover letter and resume in to the email in the description of this video.
Just got to second spot of the day here. This is a spot we actually spent a little bit of time hunting this fall. Quite a bit of time actually. Going in here to pull my cameras, but I wanna walk some of these fields down here because there's some there should be some good bucks around here that made it through season. So I'm hoping we can find maybe an antler or two off of one of them this year. It's about 1:45 right now. I'm gonna call it a day. I was able to get 2 walks in, pulling these cameras, nothing too crazy. Just walked, I don't know, covered a 500-600 yard area here on this last spot, and a little bit of that bean field in the first. Just kind of wanted to get out and scratch the itch, but be back out again sometime soon. It's supposed to stay warm here over the next couple weeks. Temps are supposed to get up into the 50s even, so I would imagine in another week and a half we're gonna hardly have any snow, but it's gonna be just a sloppy mess then, which will make it even more fun. But thanks for watching this week's semi-live. As always, we appreciate you guys watching the channel. If you got any questions on anything shed hunting related, just hit us up in the comments. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next video.